Petra is one of the 7 wonders of the world, and it's the entire reason I went to Jordan in the first place. I knew, even with the conflict going on in Gaza, I couldn't be this close to Jordan and Egypt and not go. I met my friend Gav in Egypt, and he told me I needed to get to Petra early as soon as it opened so that I could beat the crowds all the way to the monastery. He told me if I could put the blinders on and get all the way to the end first, I could at least enjoy a few minutes of the amazing view with no one else around. But in the wake of October 7th, I didn't need to. There was nobody there. I showed up around 10 a.m., walked straight in, no crowds, no tours, just me and the site. After walking through the Sikh, I came upon the Treasury, whose facade is famous for its portrayal in Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. In the movie, it was an ancient temple which housed the Holy Grail. In real life, it was a treasury for the ancient city, and it had been cut straight into the rock. In a typical year, I wouldn't be able to get these great views with all the tourists and groups hanging around. I was fortunate to have this experience, even though it wasn't lost on me that it came on the backs of others. So for the most part, there is like no one here. Like the Treasury had a decent number of people, but outside that there's like no one here. And that's a direct result of the conflict over in Gaza affecting tourism. But it's nice as a traveler because I kind of get to see everything on my own by myself without a whole lot of interruption. Just have to wait a minute for people to move to get a good picture. And people aren't going to come by. For example, you have these guys over there. And those guys over there, and that's it along here, which is kind of sad honestly for such a great place, and these little shops here that rely on the income for their livelihood. But I guess that's the nature of political conflicts all over the world, huh? On either side of the main road were residences, churches, temples, and tombs, as this was the equivalent of the Roman Forum. I decided to take Gav's advice since I had 2 days here, so instead of stopping and making my way around all the various sites, I headed straight for the monastery at the end of the trail. Two weeks before my trip to Petra, the government came in and cleaned out all of the encampments. Unfortunately, with the conflict going on in Gaza and the lack of tourism support, the government simply could not afford to continue the upkeep for the tribe that lives in the Wadi. So it is, apparently, 850 steps to the monastery. Nowhere near as bad as the incline when it comes to the steepness, but it's long, like this way, but it's very beautiful. Seeing these shops rolled up and empty was sad, as I knew that it meant people weren't making the money they relied upon in the peak tourist season, although I have to say, it was nice not to be hassled at every turn by shopkeepers trying to get me to buy their trinkets. When I finally arrived at the monastery, it felt like I had the whole scene to myself. There were 8, maybe 10 other people there. Well, the people and the dog begging me for the lettuce out of my lunch. There were lots of these signs advertising the best view in Petra, so I decided I should go give them a look. I figured I'd probably have to pay once I got to the top, but because the government had cleared everyone out, there was no one there to take my money. So I'm up high above the monastery right there, which is a beautiful sight. There's hardly anyone here. As you can see down there, I mean, there's not a lot of people. I was warned before I came that I need to get here super early because it'd be chock full of people, but unfortunately, for the economy, what's going on over in Gaza has really impacted how many people are here. It's great as a traveler because you get a lot of great shots, a lot of great pictures, a lot of great just experiences to take it all in. But, you know, it's just not all around good for the country. But something that you see down here, kind of down in that area there, is you'll see these signs that say best view of Petra, best view of Petra, go this way, go that way. And ordinarily those may or may not be worth going to, because as you can see here, there's normally shops up here, so you'd be getting hassled trying to get great shots like this one, but they're not here, again, because the economy is not doing well from the tourism side. So you can get up here and have these awesome shots. I'm also by myself. I've met 3 people in the hour I've been sitting here, which is crazy but awesome.
While the monastery is technically the end of the trail, it did go a bit further towards the wadi on the other side, so I decided to go give that a look, again, because it had the best view in Petra.
They say the best view in the world, and it's definitely not bad. So the man who runs that shop back there, he say shop at that viewpoint, he says he comes here 6 months out of the year to sit there with his family. And it's just wild that normally this place would be full of people and he'd have a full shop and all sorts of stuff there, but it's just so bare. And there's even some that are around it that are just gone because of what's going on. It's pretty insane to think about the wide-ranging impacts what Gaza is having across the region. So second day here in Petra, learning a lesson from yesterday, and that is I'm going to go to the inn and work my way back, not quite to the monastery. I'm going to go to the church and then work my way back. There's some trails there, because I learned yesterday if you like stop and go all the way to the inn, it's a long walk back when you have to be out by 5 o'clock. So going to see some things I didn't see yesterday and hopefully share them with you. So something I learned yesterday is that this area called the Seek is this long, you know, tall, like slate mountain looking area. It floods in the wet season, so flash flooding is a major problem in Petra, and they've actually got pictures of the visitor center of people hiking through this while it's flooded. It's a bit nuts, but it makes sense. I mean, when you look at just how tall these rocks are, and the fact that there's dams along the way to prevent water from entering so that people can walk. Just something to note if you come during the wet season.
Seeing as I saw the major sites the day before, I spent my second day hiking on the lesser trails. These trails would take me by older tombs, the high point of sacrifice, and of course, near the donkeys.
So I'm coming up here to the Byzantine church. I have to say it's quite a bit more windy today than it was yesterday, which is fine. It makes it cooler. And sand goes up the mouth.
These facades are unreal. It was hard to believe that they were carved straight out of the rock face. They really look like you had cut a hole in the rock and just stuck a building in there, which is a true testament to the engineering required. Time was not as kind to the old Byzantine church, however, which was destroyed by one natural disaster after the next. Eventually, it was abandoned and left to ruin.
So that's the great temple over there. I saw it yesterday. I think I've got some video of it. Much more impressive from up above, looking down though. That's a lot bigger than it looks when you're standing down there or up on that first platform. Pretty cool to see. I think I'm going to be able to see it from the top later on when I do the hike. So this is the Temple of the Winged Lions, named because these columns that you see used to be topped with a statue of a winged lion, but unfortunately it's a no entry area. Doesn't say why, I just have to assume it has to do with archaeological excavation. But still, pretty cool to see, especially with this view. Now, I don't highly edit videos and curate them because some people we've talked to said they don't like that. They like to see the authentic experience. And also because I like you guys to see the mistakes that I made. So one of them I made today is I came from that way down. So I started at the top, came down. I had no idea the rest of this was here. It looks like it would have been a pretty impressive temple back in its day. And also those columns right there, I don't know how good you can see them on the video, but they used to stand 5.75 meters tall, and they are just buried under centuries and centuries of dirt and sand, and that's pretty awesome to me.
I detoured along a lesser trail on my way back, intent on discovering some of Petra's lesser known sites. Without all the people blazing the trails, there were several times when I thought I was lost, and not even Google Maps could help when I was without service. I have to admit, today this looks like a bunch of Neanderthalic homes, but I know that hundreds of years ago, and for hundreds of years before, this was a sprawling community and city and important trade route through the area. Of course, just as that thought takes root, I stumble into places like this, with intricate carvings and perfect staircases.
I tell you what, there's no wonder movies are filmed here, because this looks just like any movie you could dream of taking place in Africa, the Middle East, anything like that. It's quite beautiful.
And true to Roman and Byzantine form, there was a Roman theater along the main trail. Unlike in other Roman theaters, I wasn't allowed to go in for archaeological reasons, which I appreciated after trampling over so many sites along the way. My last stop in Petra before heading out for the day was to visit the royal tombs. While in ruins today, their intricate facade and engineering made it clear that these tombs were for people of status back in the day. More than that, the perfectly square rooms made me wonder how the cliffs didn't cave in on them. Of course, I'm just a history major from East Texas, so what do I know?
This is un-effing real. Hand tools. Did I ride a horse in Petra just to cap off my trip in Petra? Absolutely. Is it touristy? For sure. Did I get a great picture of everyone calling me Indiana Jones? Totally did. Totally worth it. Hey guys, thanks for watching the Great Gallivanting. Hope you liked that video. If you did, go ahead and drop us a like, hit the subscribe button, and ring the notification bell so you don't miss a single thing coming out of our adventure around the world. See you guys on the road.